Good morning, friends. My name is Casey Nicholson, and I have the pleasure of welcoming you to the Center for Spiritual Living Tacoma. Hi. Those in person and those joining us online, we are so grateful that you're here today. Our special musical guests are Mr. Lawrence Lambert, yes, along with our percussionist in-house, Mr. Pete Beresford. Yes. And then, where is Rachelle? Oh, there she is. Hi, honey. I didn't see you up here. I can't wait to hear you on your cello. Our speaker today is Mr. Steve Potts. Yes. I'd also like to give a quick shout out to everyone else who's helping to put on service today. We have India Coy Grace and Ronald Edens, Shannon Ray, Angelina O'Connor, Suzanne Frazier, Sherry Gilliard, Rose Palmer, Tracy Klein, Jerry King, and Jack Stevens, plus a few more behind the scenes. Thank you so much for all you do. A quick reminder, please see your program for all of the fun things that we do here at CSL Tacoma. And there's usually some extra flyers in the foyer, so you can grab one on your way out. For those of you joining us online, please visit csltacoma.org under the heading What We're Up To. And then after service, as always, the practitioners will be joining in the back room there to offer prayer, support, or celebrate your wins. Okay, if you're new today and you're comfortable doing so, please raise your hand. Yes? All right, keep them up there. We're gonna come by, give you a welcome packet, and say hello. Keep your hand up. Oh, you got one, okay. So go ahead and fill out that Staying Connected card and then just pop it in the offering basket as it goes by later in service. And you're welcome to hang out with us afterwards for coffee, refreshments, and authentic connections. It's a really great way to get to know people. All right, so let's take a moment to remember who we are. The Center for Spiritual Living Tacoma is a joyful, loving, and peaceful spiritual community connected through a shared set of values, principles, and practices. We awaken and embody our understanding of oneness with Source and with all of life. We are committed to individual transformations, healthy relationships, and being a beneficial presence in our community and the planet. Our vision is to create a world that's thriving in harmony. Your presence here makes a true difference. You are appreciated, you're loved as you are, and you are welcome here. Thank you and enjoy the service. And now it's time for Minister's Moment with Reverend Drew Ebersole.
All right, good morning. Good morning. What is happening this beautiful morning? Last week, I had the great good fortune of being in Kauai. So, all right, here we go. No, it was, and I say that with all respect and deference, because being in a Native culture situation like that and seeing and feeling the beauty and power of it was pretty overwhelming. You know, CJ and I were overwhelmed many times by how gorgeous it is. And so, very fortunate, very blessed to be on this planet at this time. Also want to welcome Pete back because he had surgery and he's recovered. Woo! Stronger than ever. He's doing great. That's awesome. We're very happy for you. And just as another side note, a team from Tacoma made it into the Little League World Series. All right, so we'll have to keep an eye on them and see how they do. I'm all for it. That's fantastic. So there's so many good things happening here right now. We're just doing outreach and connection. And I know that last week we had Art on the Ave, and I really want to give a shout out to Justin right there. If he would stand up and wave to the crowd. He did a phenomenal job of organizing and connecting everyone on that. And if you were at all volunteering for that, could you just stand up also and be recognized as being part of that? Yay! Wonderful. Lots of good connections with people. And there's another one coming up, and it's the Hilltop Street Fair. and that's going to be on August 29th. And you should be getting a message or have gotten messages about volunteering. Come out and volunteer and meet the community. It's one of the best ways to let them know we're genuine, we're here, we're real, and we really love people. And you all do it so beautifully. So please respond if you can to make sure we get people out for that as well. So that's going to be perfect. Okay. That brings you to the point of sacred service, which is this chance for us all to give and serve and love in this community. Studies have shown repeatedly that when you give of yourself with time or talent or money or energy or whatever it is, that you get back manifold that energy. It lifts you up, and it creates this energetic, like, kind of flow that happens in your life. And it's like a healthy heart, healthy mind, healthy perspective around our existence. So if you get a chance, volunteer. There's greeters. We need greeters in the back. And I know that they're back there where they can sign us up to do it. Or we need welcomers up here. We need people for coffee service. Just once in a while. It's not every week. It's like once every 8 weeks or whatever. You just show up and do it, and you feel good and connected. So, oh, that was from the fair. Okay, there we go. And so I thought you were laughing at me. I was like, is my fly down? Decent. Okay. No, it's not. Come on, John. You gotta have my back. Let's go. All right. So please do that. I also want to talk about the wonderful opportunities with our sisterhood retreat. I know that Sharon and others have really been promoting this. It's wonderful, and Madeline and Suzanne and everyone else. It's been filling up every year, but they've extended an early bird registration if you act now, so you can get in cheap. It's phenomenal. I know Dr. Reverend Linda Rapon's going to be speaking. I know they all bond and connect. So please sign up. See Sharon and find out how to sign up. But you do not want to miss a chance to connect with our people in our community in a profoundly deep way. It's a chance to get away. It's a beautiful sight. And so really look at being part of that. All right? We want people for that and fill it up. So the other one is bingo. We have bingo happening next week. So here's what's going to happen. I'm speaking, and we're going to have this kind of spiritual cafe set up, which is really cool. And then right after service, we're going to do bingo. And this is kind of a spiritual bingo. We do these kind of fun games and mindsets on things, and we share the winnings. And it's a great way to build community and reach out to others who maybe don't know we're here. So right after service, come and join us for a little bingo and a little bit of fun in the afternoon before you go about the rest of your day, which is going to be really cool, okay? So, B-I-N? B-I-N? What's that spell? Bingo. And the last part is go, and you're going to go, right? All right, come to bingo. All right. What's that? Oh, and volunteers. See Tracy in the back in the pink shirt? And she's going to get you to volunteer. We need volunteers. That's part of the sacred service. So make sure you sign up for that. And then the other cool thing is So It Is, which is the best name ever. S-E-W, So It Is. And I know Leslie and Randy have done a great job of putting this together, and they're going to be doing a phenomenal job. It's in the program as well, August 28th, 5:30, 8:30 p.m. And you come and learn how to stitch it all together and weave things together and make patches come to life in your existence. And it's fun. It's really fun. They do a great job. So please join us for that as well. And then as we have joy, we also have realizations of how difficult life can be. They're not mutually exclusive. We're not just a happy, clappy church. We want to have joy, and the joy is founded in understanding the depth of the profound tragedies that are also a part of our life. And Subab is on our board and has been so beautiful about recognizing need that we talked about it, and she wants to share in a way that we're going to be helping out a community in deep need. So this is Subab Davis, and she's an incredible, gifted, lovely, awesome person that we care about so much, and she's going to tell you about what we have going on.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, I'm here representing the board today. For the past couple of years, we've conducted a pledge campaign, and everyone has been really generous and given so freely that we've been able to look forward and make plans for our giving and have a reserve, kind of for the first time. And we're very frugal and guard that money very carefully. Earlier this year at the annual meeting, we voted to give 4 $500 grants to community organizations. And then just in the past couple of weeks, we've seen the incredible need in Spokane for wildfire relief because of the tragic fire out there. So we voted to donate $500 to the Spokane Wildfire Relief Program and ask you if you're able to also donate. So that's just part of our sacred service that we're reaching out to the community and trying to support those in need. So thank you for your donations and thank you for being here.
It's a blessing, and that's what affluence means, when it's the flow of. So as you give, you receive. So what's going to happen is it's going to keep coming around. We're going to keep sharing it, and that's how we create an abundant, affluent world together, all right? So take a deep breath in and know that you just did that. For people that have lost their lives and had their houses burned down, I know other members of ours have been through that. Look over at Caitlin. And it's so beautiful to know that you're not alone when something like that happens to you. So thank you for helping us remember that we're all in this together. Beautiful work. And so we also will take that energy right now and utilize it not just to help and heal those who are hurting, but also to imagine together right now in this room with our collective consciousness what world peace feels like for us all. Because we all know what it feels like to be alone or separated or lost. And we're going to be an antidote to that right now. We're going to provide medicine for healing of our consciousness in our world. So consciously spend a few moments in silence and truly focus your mental, spiritual, and emotional abilities on imagining world peace right now. Let's take a minute and do that. Beautiful, thank you. You can do that anytime, all the time. Bring peace to your heart, bring peace to our world. Okay, we got that. Beautiful. So, another way we do it is through gratitudes. They're in the back of your seats. You write them, I read them, we feel them, right? I should be on a t-shirt. But take these in too, because this is what we're learning in this spiritual journey is the world of vicissitudes, meaning it doesn't have to be either or. It's a both and all the time. There's pain, there's joy. There's love, there's loss. There's grief, there's celebration. There's fame and disrepute. It happens to all of us, and it's okay. That's the way it's designed. There's nothing wrong with it. We just have to lean into it with full being, with our full heart. And we will see. And gratitudes help remind us what we are here for. So take them in because they're yours to feel as well as the person who wrote them. When you feel them, you get the same lift. So here we go. Grateful for the visit by Dr. Deb and Dr. Ken Gordon. 2 national people came in and saw us last week. For the opportunity to serve at CSL Tacoma, to volunteer, which fills me with joy. I did not write that for today, okay? Just saying, it's synchronicity. For this center, for the beautiful music and musicians. Rachelle, thank you. Lawrence, Pete. The beautiful music and musicians, the friendliness of the center members and the ministers. Making it to 65. All right. Way to go. That's not me, but hey, all right, I'm feeling it. I'll get there someday. My friend Mari. Is Mari here? Right? My friend Mari. Inviting me here to CSL so that I could hear Reverend Savannah's message. It was exactly what I needed to hear and created healing. My hubby, who has a project that makes him happy. surrendering and allowing the universe to provide. The sincere apology from my mother that my sweet inner child needed to hear. That this moment is perfect, safe, whole, and healed, and utterly stunning, and I'm so grateful to be alive. Just being here and all the souls who make CSL the best experience in the world. Beautiful. So now, let's begin with some beautiful, astounding music from the amazing Rachelle.
Thank you for that music. I just felt those introductory bass notes just resonating and resonating inside me.
Wow.
Yeah. Also resonating inside me is that one source. Just like that resonance of the music, it is vibrating and it increases in strength until it fills this room. Because in reality, there is only one. One source, that one love, that one power, that one wisdom that penetrates through everything because it is from the source of that. All have those qualities. And all, I think of the song, Everyone In. You probably know it, some of you do. Everybody in, everybody in. And it's not only people, it's everything that's in. In this circle of love, in this circle of power and wisdom. Everything is in that same place. And in this service, I know that Steve will speak those words that will resonate with you, just like those low notes of the song. And so that will be your gift. And just feel the upliftment that you receive from that. And that's actually your resonance that you feel. And I am very grateful to know these truths and to speak these words, that everyone in this service is already divinely guided in feeling that resonance with each other and with all of creation. And in gratitude, I release that and say, and so it is.
Bum 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 bum. Find joy in a blue sky. Find joy on a mountain high. Find joy in the rising sun. Find joy in everyone. Teacher, teach me the meaning of love. I need a lesson from heaven above. I want to know why the cage bird sings. Need to know all these things. So teacher, point and show me the way. How do you find happiness and what must I pay? Need your kindness, your wisdom, your grace. I want the serenity you have on your face. Then she said to me, you gotta look down deep at the soil at your feet. Stand still, find joy in a blue sky. Find joy on a mountain high. Find joy in the rising sun. Find joy in everyone. She said, joy is all around you, son. She said, don't be scared to love someone. She said, it's in those small things we forget to see. She said, find joy in you and me. Find joy in a blue sky. Find joy on a mountain high. Find joy in the rising sun. Find joy in everyone, in everyone.
What can you do wrong with joy? I mean, it's awesome. So I have a reading that is what Oprah calls the most important lesson I have learned. What I've learned in 25 years, talking every single day to people, was that there is a common denominator in our human experience. I've conducted over 25,000 interviews in my career. And as soon as the camera shuts off, everyone always turns to me and in their own way asks the question, was that okay? I heard it from President Bush. I heard it from President Obama. I've heard it from the heroes and from housewives. I've heard it from victims and perpetrators of crime. I've heard it from Beyonce and all her Beyonce-ness. They all wanted to know, was that okay? Did you hear me? Did you see me? Did what I say mean anything to you? Years later, when I sat down with Eckhart Tolle to study the nature of human consciousness, the puzzle pieces finally clicked into a much larger picture. I realized that this desperate urging that we all have, this need to be validated, to have our stories heard, is the ego trying to find its way and its worth in the external world. But beyond the noise, there's something deeper. There is something sacred. There is an underlying presence. What I know for sure now is that there is no real meaning to life without this presence, this spiritual component. Spirit is the very essence of who we are, and it requires no specific belief. It just is. When we truly wake up to this, we realize we aren't separate waves competing in the ocean. We are the ocean itself.
We've climbed the mountain, but forgotten our steps. Climb higher and higher, now we're starting to fall. All the sweat and tears it took to get us here, all sabotage by playing into our fears. Playing into our fears. Fears, it won't belong to you. You aren't the chosen few. If you can't have your way, there's nothing we can say. You can't open a closed mind, running out of time. We're falling, falling, falling into our fears. Falling into our fears. Brick by brick, we built a wall, hoping our enemy will somehow fall. Enemy you perceive is not even there. It's all sabotage by playing into our fears. Playing into our fears. Fears, it won't belong to you. You aren't the chosen few. If you can't have your way, there's nothing we can say. You can't open a closed mind, running out of time. We're falling, falling, falling to our fears. Falling to our fears. So we have to be brave. Mm-hmm. We've climbed the mountain, forgotten our steps. We climb higher and higher, and we're starting to fall. All the sweat and tears it took to get us here, all sabotaged, all sabotaged, all sabotaged by playing into our fears, playing into our fears, playing into our fears.
So this is, we're going to hear Steve come up. I'm going to introduce him in a second, but I want to say this is part of that sense of what radical inclusion looks like. It's all part of it beautifully. There's nothing to shy away from. It's all just a gorgeous part of it together. We heard Lawrence just do Joy and Fear in 2 breaths, in 2 songs, and they're not mutually exclusive. We can work with it all beautifully. And today we're going to hear from Steve Potts, and this is part of what we also do beautifully here, your recognition for Reverend Savannah Noel for that time, and we have different diverse speakers here a little bit, and we have our elders that get to speak to us too, through their wisdom and their learning. And if we break down that barrier of judgment or worry or concern that, we can't hear from any one person and hear their perspective, we want to hear what they have to say to enlighten and involve us all. And Steve has lived a beautiful, hard, wonderful life. And he's going to share some of his senses of radical inclusion. He's a practitioner here. He's committed to this movement, and he's dedicated his heart, mind, and spirit to creating a world that can thrive in harmony. So let's welcome up Steve Potts.
As usual, Drew steals my thunder. Because I was sitting here thinking this whole time. It started out with Rachelle playing that song that starts out almost like Beethoven's Fifth, really dark, right? And then before you know it, you're sitting here going, yeah, man. And you're pulled up this way. And then Lawrence sings that song, it's joy. He sings one song about joy, and the next one he sings about fear, and it's the whole thing. This is it. It doesn't get any better than this. It encompasses the whole enchilada. Every time a speaker comes here, we do this thing of praying each other in and so on and so forth. And I just get pumped. I just always get pumped when I come down here, right? There's only one thing that's missing. I got a fever, and the only cure for it is more cowbell. That's exactly right.
If you don't know what it means, see me after the service.
Yeah. I knew half of you were going to get that. But I was getting prayed in this morning, and that's what I felt like. It's like more. I just had to say it. It's more cowbell. So anyway, that's my service for today. I am so lucky. I'm a member of 2 different services, right? And when I'm not down here, I go to CSL in Squim, and it's a small congregation. They have about 20 to 30 people every week, so on and so forth. And it's kind of laid back, and it's really nice in its own way. And then I come down here, and I go, man, this is it. It doesn't get any better than this. I really just get pumped up. I get pumped up for living here. All of my family's on the East Coast in North Carolina. I don't get to see them very much at all. That hurts, but it's part of my story, and I have to accept that. I have to accept the fact that I get choked up here sometimes when I do that. And I ride this roller coaster like we all do. Every day of our lives, we have this good and the bad and everything like this. Oh, I live in this super place up in Port Townsend. It takes me an hour and 45, 2 hours to get down here. When I come down, it's part of it, you know. I go along with that because I just love this place so much and I get so much from it. On the way out, when I leave Port Townsend, however, I have to go down this county road, and I got all these big trees around me and just gorgeous area. And I get down the road a couple of miles away to the state road. I have to travel this county road, and over here on the right is this place. It's about 5 acres. You can't see the house. It has to be at least 5 acres. And this guy has built these 3-foot berms on either side of this winding driveway that goes back to wherever he lives. It may be a mansion, it may be a shack, I don't know. But it's not that earthen berm that landscapers use to hide things, you know, make things nice and create privacy and everything like that. This guy has built this thing out of junk. And when I say junk, I'm talking about rusted sinks, old pipes, rotted timber, anything that split garbage cans, ugly. I mean, it's horrible. It's horrible. He's even gone to the point to where he's carried it out to the road and on the county road. The county had to come by and make him take it away. But of course, you can't do anything about the guy's property. It's his. He can do whatever he wants to with it. And every time I would go by this place, I would sit there and I would start gritting my teeth. Because how dare he do this to this beautiful place that I live in? But if I step back, you know, and take a minute and look at what's happening and everything like this, I see this mirror. About 40 years ago, almost 40 years ago, when I joined AA, I heard this statement in the big books of Alcoholics Anonymous. And I realized that before I even could react to or understand what I was doing, I would react. You know, I would feel my teeth already gritted before I realized what was happening to me. And the statement in AA that hit me was, whenever I am disturbed, there's something, no matter what the cause, people, places, things, there's something wrong with me. Now, in CSL, we don't teach that. Science of Mind doesn't teach that. There is nothing wrong with anything, right? So I've kind of changed that in my life. I've changed that to, you know, whenever something disturbs me, no matter what it is, okay, there's not something wrong with me. There's something out of balance in me. It's my issue. It's not that guy. It's not that berm. It's the issue in me. We can't take that sentence, you know, there's something wrong with me, seriously, but we have to, or, you know, we can't pass it off. We have to take that seriously. And I have to look at myself. And so that word, or that sense of there's something disturbed in me, or there's something out of balance with me, there's a Hopi word for that called koanskatsi. And that word, koanskatsi, means life out of balance. There's a famous documentary about that. If you look it up and things like that, it'll blow your socks off. If we're students of mind, science of mind, we'll find the same exact truth from Ernest Holmes. He sits there and says, life is a mirror and reflects back to the thinker whatever he thinks into it. He argues that when we see in the external world what we first embody in our thought, and that world is to each of us exactly as we think it is. If we're willing to follow that thread, disturbance, reflection, and then recognition, we start to see the berm isn't just an eyesore on the county road. The disturbance isn't actually in the berm, the disturbance is in the mirror. If we're willing to truly look into that mirror, we have to ask ourselves, is it possible the reason we're so disturbed by that junk berm is because we recognize ourselves in it? Think about why that property owner built those walls of porcelain sinks, literally. Porcelain sinks are in this thing. And rusted pipes. He did it to protect himself. He did it to hide himself from the whatever's going on the county road. And what do we get disturbed about by a chaotic world, whether it's things like berms or people as well? We do the exact same thing, except we use different tools. We use different materials. We don't stack up old sinks, we stack up righteous judgments, our perfect vocabulary, and our moral superiority. We build massive internal walls to keep the wrong people out and keep ourselves safe. Yet because looking at our own internal clutter is so unbearable, we roll up our sleeves and aggressively try to fix the outside world. We step into the role of the mechanic, deciding we must put things right, at least I do, because if we can just clean up the outer mess, we won't have to face the walls that we've built in ourselves. We don't only do this individually, we do this collectively. And I want to give you an example of what I mean, and I please listen all the way through, try to figure out what I'm saying, because it might rub people the wrong way. We've done that exactly with what we call DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And though we care deeply about these values, as we should, we've turned those values into massive, exhaustive, administrative berm project building. We just keep trying to solve society's problems, whether it's DEI or anything else, with the wrong tools. When we look closely at those words, diversity, equity, and inclusion, they reveal themselves to be transactional misnomers. In our haste to correct the imbalances of our society, we've transformed those terms that carry the faint, lasting scent of separation. Inclusion, for instance, operates on the unspoken idea that we're letting others in. Isn't that nice of us? We let other people in. We get a warm, self-righteous feeling thinking, isn't that nice of us? But into what exactly? Our comfort zone? Our pre-established culture where we still hold the keys? The moment we treat inclusion as patronizing hospitality, we act like the landlords of the divine, like St. Peter at the pearly gates, graciously letting in less fortunate sit in our living room. Diversity is no better. It's a relative term that secretly establishes a default normal baseline, implying some people are standard and others are the diverse additions we invite in for variety. I want to give you another example. Think of the forest. We don't think of a forest as being diverse, though it is. We think of it first as the forest. It's only when we sit back and we sit there and say that forest consists of a whole different bunch of trees. It's got insects. It's got, what's the word for it? I can't think of it. Fungi that underneath the trees and everything like this. It's got different animals. You know, it's got up there where we live, we got coyotes, bears, cougars. We literally have a bear sighting last week and a cougar sighting 2 weeks ago. Guy riding on his bicycles chased down the road right where we live by a cougar. Yeah. But first off, we look at a forest as whole. It's the forest. That forest across is from up there. You even have to include the soil. You know, it's got the fungi in it and everything like this, connecting all the trees. Up there, if you've ever been up to Port Townsend, that sort of thing, that's glacial till. The glaciers came down, just ground up that stuff, and it gets hard as a brick in the summertime. And let me show you what I mean. Can I get the first picture up there? That's a picture right across my street from my house. That's an 87-acre land preserve, right? It's got trails back in there. There's only 2 places you can see down here, way down there. That's the only parking lot. It's ours. It's my front yard. Isn't that great? But it's a forest, right? And we picked that place for this exact reason. This is the next slide is the picture of me 5 years ago and about 15 pounds heavier, right? Standing in the ferns in my front yard, or what was going to be my front yard. Isn't that cool? Those ferns are over 3 feet long when you stand them up. They come up to about here on me. It's really beautiful. And so we picked this place because, just because of this, just beautiful land. Can I get you the next picture? That's our house we built, right? And I have to stop here for a second. A lot of you know I was homeless 15 years ago, living in a shelter. I had no money. The only thing I had was a couple of changes of clothes and a computer, and that's it. And I had nothing. I had no savings. I had no income. I had nothing. And that's my house. That's my house. That's, and I wouldn't have that house if I didn't have this program. I can tell you this right now. That's what this has gotten me. So anyway, now I want to show you what's across. See that rock right there? Okay, and that's our starving heron right there, if you can see it. That's something we picked up at one of the auctions. Just had to have it. Anyway, can I get the next slide? That's the same rock looking out my front window. And for the last, that's only half of the Japanese maples I found in my front yard in Port Townsend before we moved up here. So I'm growing Japanese maples, and I'm hoping in a couple of years they're going to be big enough that I can give some to you all. So anyway, that's been my project. I'm going to step back here for a second. That's been my project for the last couple of weeks. I've been transplanting those ferns, and I'm putting hosta in there, and I'm putting a stilby in there, and I'm even transplanting salal up there, and to make it a little bit more, well, put it back, to put it more primitive. But in doing that, I've got a point to all of this. In doing that, I woke up, I guess about 3 months ago, and found a family of moles on my property. And I decided in all my righteousness that they had no right to be there, none whatsoever. I was moving stuff and tried to make it nice and everything like this, and these moles had the audacity to come into this property and mess it all up. And I tried to figure out a way to get rid of those moles. I didn't want to kill them. I've gotten that better. I've gotten that much better. I don't like murder. But I was sitting out on my porch, if you remember that little porch, the stoop out there one day, and I was contemplating this work that I was doing, and I saw all these molehills out there, and I'm going, I got to get rid of these. And all of a sudden it dawned on me what I was doing. The mirror struck me. The moles had just as much right to be there as I did. It was their property. And then all of a sudden, I realized that they were part of it. They were part of my life. And I looked at those molehills and I went, and I saw it. Those moles, do you remember I told you that land up there is glacial till? It's harder than a brick. And I got some bulldozers in the form of moles to dig up that property for me. And I've got holes to plant my flowers in. And I've got holes to plant some more ferns in. And not only that, okay, I looked it up on AI, and it said that glacial till is filled with nutrients. It's filled with minerals and all sorts of stuff that I can mix with garden soil and organic matter and have the perfect fertilized stuff for ferns, astilbe, and salal, because that's what they love. And so now I can sit out there and go, I love you, moles. Come on, dig up some more. That's true, y'all. I was just sitting on the front porch, and I'm sitting there and I'm going, holy crap. You know, there's a sermon in there someplace. Okay, back to equity. Equity is a financial term about balance sheets and keeping score. It's human dignity into a limited, it turns human dignity into a limited commodity that we have to carefully measure and balance. This reading that Angelina gave this morning from Oprah, it really says it all. Spirit is the very essence, this was in the reading, spirit is the very essence of who we are. It requires no specific belief, it just is. When we truly wake up to this, when we realize that we aren't separate waves competing in an ocean, we're the ocean itself. Moles included. You know, true belonging isn't about letting people in, balancing the books, or managing property. It's a matter of consciousness. It's about realizing we're already in the same room. There is no host and there's no guest. There's only the whole. Now, the appearance of diversity, exclusion, and inequality in our world is incredibly real and painful. And we don't want to forget that. It's not what we're doing. This isn't a Pollyanna-ish teaching. Some voices are silenced, though, and some bodies are marginalized. I'm not saying that we should do nothing, not in the least. We don't get to look at systemic injustice and say, well, it's all one, so we don't worry about it. This isn't spiritual. It's indifference, and it's what we call spiritual bypass. And we do have a responsibility to do something, but it's not about what. We all know what to do. Every one of us know what we have to do. We need to embody these principles into the national consciousness. How are we supposed to do that? Does creating a massive administrative project like DEI really solve the problem, or does it create more division, more animosity? When we try to fix people's attitudes, to correct the system, we draw a line in the sand. It's like picking up a piece of chalk and drawing this land and saying, you're over there, I'm over here, and I'm right. A couple of weeks ago, I saw a guy standing alone on the street in Hadlock. Hadlock is a little village that's just south of Port Townsend. And I was driving through, it may have been when I was driving down here, I don't know, it was on a Saturday, so it wasn't. He was alone on this, it's just a flashing stoplight, four-way stop, and there's a QFC there, and he's out there on the corner, and he's got this sign that says, ICE equals murder. On one level, his heart is aching and reacting to the real pain. His longing for justice is real, but look at the tool he's using. With those three words, he draws an absolute, uncompromising line in the sand. He places the human beings who work for ICE on the side of murder and himself on the side of righteousness. His pain is real, but the tool fractures the very connection he's trying to solve. When we categorize people this way, we stop seeing their humanity. We stop seeing them as unique expressions of the one life. And nobody likes to be pushed outside the boundary. They dig in their heels, build their walls higher, and defend their positions. We can't heal a fractured world using the tools of separation. When we try to fix things by drawing new lines of right and wrong, we aren't ending exclusion. We're just taking turns holding the chalk. So what do we actually do? How do we live in this world without constantly building new walls? First, we stop the fixing and start with inquiry. I'm not saying that we don't enact laws. Laws are placeholders, but they're only placeholders until we as individuals change. And that's done one person at a time, and the individual can do it. It can be mandated, sure, but that's playing whack-a-mole. Literally, I discovered that. You pound on one mole and it comes up over here. Mandates, and I love that analogy. I just really do. Mandates and laws create resentments. And the resentment just gets passed around, and now the other person has to look in the mirror. The next time we feel that sudden urge of tightness in our chest, that gritting of our teeth, we remember that disturbance is in the mirror. Instead of asking, how do I fix this broken person? How do I fix this broken situation? What is the junk berm this person is buried under? When we separate the human being from the debris piled on top of them, we can address unhelpful behavior without attacking the soul underneath. Second, we take the chalk test. Before we speak, write, and act, we ask ourselves, am I trying to restore connection, or I'm just taking my turn holding the chalk to draw a new line? If our words reduce complex people to rigid, hostile labels, we drop the chalk. And finally, we recognize that the cosmic truth of wholeness and the personal mirror of self-acceptance are the exact same thing. There's a big sign on the wall down at Port Townsend Alano Club that reveals it's not about them, and very seldom is. Inclusion isn't about the heroic reach of our acceptance toward each other. It's about the acceptance of ourselves. Inclusion isn't about, we aren't the landlords of the universe extending charity from a safe distance. We're the ones who need to see ourselves as included. When we drop our self-righteousness, we accept that we're all a part of it. We're part of the problem, we're part of the solution, lock, stock, and barrel. It's not about them. It's about me in here. We're in the mud with the rusted pipes, the split garbage cans, and the messy beauty of the whole thing. When we shift our lens from the administrative effort to inclusion to the reality of wholeness, the entire landscape of our community changes. Wholeness means the circle isn't actually whole if anyone is left outside. We aren't doing anyone a favor by including them. We're simply reclaiming our own completeness. And I want to make something else perfectly clear. None of this means our practical work of love and equity disappears. We still dismantle systemic barriers, but we no longer do it to fulfill an organizational mandate. We do it as a natural, instinctive reflex of the body. If your left hand is cold, you don't form a committee to decide if you should put a glove on it. You don't analyze the diversity of your fingers to calculate the equity of the blood flow. You just reach for the glove. No thought process, because it's in here. You see it's cold, you put on a glove. You don't analyze it. It's an effortless, immediate act of self-care because that hand is an inseparable part of your own body. When we see the systemic junk berms pushing people into the margins, we don't need a bureaucratic program. We need the instinctive movement of a body realizing its own limbs are cold. We act not because we're helping them, but because we finally recognize that we are them. When we see and when we return inclusion to its spiritual home, which is wholeness, we can finally stop overthinking. We can step off the stage of performance, let go of the exhaustion, and the rest in the relief of a reality where everyone already belongs. And the berm on the county road doesn't change. We do. And when we do, the world stops feeling like something we have to fix and starts feeling like something we're finally willing to see. This is it. It don't get any better than this.
So I also just want to just let you know that as Steve mentioned, these words of inclusion and diversity and equity are extremely important to us. We have a team that's called the IDEA team. That IDEA team is about enacting these, and we are doing it differently. We want to do it from a place that is about healing, listening, curiosity. I know I'm looking over here at Lucas. He does a great job of handling conversations like this beautifully in our community around including all perspectives to hear everything so we can finally move forward out of this division and hatred stuff. But we will not relent on standing with people that need voices to be heard. That's incredibly important and will always be important. It's just a perspective of taking that in a way that lets us actually move it forward in a way that unites us in some fashion. But we are with everybody in this community. All are welcome here, not from a place of grandeur. I think that was a really beautiful point Steve made of we're better, come on in, and you're welcome to our home. It's from a place of humility and a place of equality, really in that sense. So just know that this place will always stand for justice and truth and love and value how we connect in that, because there is a way. There's a way to do it. In fact, I'd like you all just to take a second before we take this, our offering, and just connect with the people around you as a way of recognizing our own natural sense of the forest that we are with the diverse and equitable way that we live, but from a place of really seeing the humility and wholeness of us all. So let's take a second. This is our little symbol. If somebody waves, they don't want to be touched, just wave back. If they do this, shake their hand or fist bump. If they do this, give them a hug, but you both have to agree, and the lowest common denominator for that. But let's take a second and feel what inclusion really looks like and feels like in a world that we're creating. So let's do that real quick. Let's come back. Let's come back. All right, take a deep breath in. Let it out. In hearing our voices, I also want to preview that we're going to be coming up with a survey soon that the IDEA team has created to talk about what you really want to see from our church in our movement forward. So be aware of that. It's going to be coming out soon, and you can talk to us about that. But just know that it's an important motion forward in our center. So let's have our greeters come forward, if we can, please, to take the collection. And as the plate moves in front of you with your generosity, know that what you're offering and have offered have helped people in tragedies all over. And we're supporting the Institute for Black Justice. We're supporting Coffee Oasis and the kids that are left on the street. We're supporting those who are refugees in our community, which is beautiful. We're supporting incredible efforts all around. And now we're also helping those who have lost so much in the fires. So put that blessing in there when you put it in the plate, and then we'll say our blessing together. Ready? Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive with infinite gratitude. So it is. Now we get the wonderful Rachelle. Wow. They say to become that good at cello, you have to practice 40 hours a day. And I believe it. That's true. And that's amazing. Let's hear it for Lawrence, who's amazing, phenomenal. Pete and Rachelle, the three of them. If there's any doubt about the Trinity, we just saw it right there. That's it. That's beautiful. And Steve, I have your new sermon is Holy Moly. So there we have it. No, but thanks for your perspective. And this is what we need is diverse perspective to challenge our thinking, to challenge the way we come to things. So we're not staid or static, but we're dynamic and growing always. Because that's what we're called to do in this world. You're the revolutionaries right here in this room. Don't shy away from it. The world needs you. Okay? We need each other. So thank you for your generosity and your blessings. It's wonderful, and we appreciate it deeply. Thank you.
Just go inside for a moment. And from all that Steve said, all the different ways that you were like, oh, I do that. Oh, I recognize that. Because we all have it. Step instead into the wholeness of love. Step into that place where there is no division. And that all of creation is part of that. Everything's in. Everything's in that wholeness, in that love. And if you have one of those moments that you catch your breath, just ask that question. What would love do here? How would love handle this situation of divisiveness? How would love handle the situation of judgment? And just listen. Listen to that wonderful guidance that is always present. Sometimes we need new ears to hear it. And I am grateful to know this, and grateful for this service, grateful for this music, for the AV team, for all of the support that children are getting, for Steve and his words, the whole schmeal, all whole, has made a complete service today. And I release these words into that divine mind that is always, always whole, always saying yes. And so it is.
I just want to say again, thank you, Steve. That was beautiful. And so are you. Thank you. Let's let our light shine. Here we go. Lawrence, take it away.
Check, check, check one. You guys ready to lean into love? You can, however you want to do it. Standing up is good. I want you guys to all sing. We're going to learn 2 songs, hopefully one you already know. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Now the second song is Glory, Glory, Hallelujah. Since I lay my burdens down. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Since I lay my burdens down. Glory, glory. Hallelujah. Since I lay my burdens down. Glory, glory. Hallelujah. Since I lay my burdens. Going to the first one. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Keep singing this part. This little light of mine. You guys know what we're gonna do. I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. You guys got it already. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. One more time, come on now. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Glory, glory, glory. Thank you. You guys sounded wonderful.
Go practice radical inclusion. Here we go.